call Claire Hockey to wind up the debate. 7 minutes will take us up to decision time.
Thank you very much, Presiding Officer, and I'm delighted to close the debate on changing lives and have been struck by the many contributions across the Chamber that highlight the way sport and physical activity can be used intentionally to bring about positive change for communities and people. In particular, I was encouraged by the ways in which organisations are working together to use the collective power of sport and physical activity to create positive, lasting change for individuals and communities to address specific need. And if I can turn to some of the really interesting contributions that there were across the Chamber, I think it was a very consensual debate today and showed our Parliament at its best when we can all come together. And Brian Whittle spoke very passionately, not for the first time in this Chamber, about the power of sport and its holistic impact on lives. David Stewart also spoke about individuals with long-term conditions and the importance of them remaining physically active and the impact that that can have. Alison Johnson's contribution spoke of the building activity into daily lives and how important green spaces are to us all. Tavish Scott, unsurprisingly, spoke very proudly about Shetland's sporting success. And I think he also spoke about Paul Laurie and the golf tour that he was talking about and the meeting with the Deputy First Minister. And I can assure him that a number of actions have been picked up by Sport Scotland, the Scottish Government and Education Scotland following that meeting. Sandra White spoke of the award-winning CAPA project and extra funding was announced by my colleague, the Minister for Public Health and Sport last year for that project, an extra £130,000 last September. George Adam, unsurprisingly, spoke to us about Paisley and St Mirren, but also about the Active Together project, encouraging people with MS to be active with others and join in the community. And Joanne Lamont's contribution about the infrastructure left in Glasgow struck a really personal note with me today, because in my own constituency of Rutherglen, we were blessed with Cunningar Loop, which was a development from the Commonwealth Games, the largest urban park in South Lanarkshire. And only yesterday it won the RTPI Awards for Planning Excellence for Health and Wellbeing, and has had a real big impact in terms of the health and well-being of my constituents and of many more across Glasgow. Jenny Goruth spoke about the success of Fife Sports and Leisure Trust and its increase in participation. And we heard about Gillian Martin's passion for cycling and the need for safer infrastructure and her ambition for Scotland to be a cycling nation. So really varied contributions. And it is, Presiding Officer, it's clear from the work that organisations do in communities, and we've heard about much of that, the very positive and life-changing effects that sport and physical activity can have on mental well-being. And mental health is an absolute priority for the Scottish Government, and strong research is now emerging to support the strong positive links of physical activity on positive mental well-being. Almost everyone knows of the benefits of being physically active, and we want people to be more active more often, in part because being active is good for mental well-being. Being physically active can reduce stress, it can improve self-esteem, and can help to manage depression and anxiety. And I want to see an increase, I'm really pressed for time, sorry Mr Stewart, I want to see an increase in the number of people who engage in sport and physical activity, not for its own sake, but for the wider benefits it can bring, particularly in terms of mental well-being. However, doing sport isn't just about playing in teams or joining a club. Any kind of physical activity can boost mental well-being, from swimming, walking, dance or golf. For example, the changing room is a great example of partners working together through football to promote men's mental health and well-being through the power of football. And the ALBA project also builds on the well-established links between physical activity and improved mental health. I'm pleased that SAMH are an important partner in the delivery of the Changing Lives Through Sport and Physical Activity programme through their partnerships not only in Changing Life and ALBA projects, but with Scottish Sports Futures to deliver a joint programme that will promote positive mental health for young people and address stigma and discrimination felt by those with mental health problems. And last week I met with staff delivering the Community Strides project, a collaboration between SAMH and Jog Scotland, funded through the Changing Life funds, and it provides opportunities for people from the BAME communities to get active with local jogging groups. I was struck by the passion of the staff to use jogging as a tool to impact on individuals' physical and mental health. And they're getting to know the women attending the sessions and working with them to understand and overcome potential individual and community barriers to participation. This work with BAME communities builds on an existing successful partnership which sees jog leaders undertake mental health awareness training and then wear a simple "I'm Here" badge, which they can use as a tool to start a conversation with their members and show that they are open to chatting about mental health. And the intention is not to turn jog leaders into trained counsellors, but to make them feel more confident to provide a listening ear and know how to help members find more help if they need it. In August 2016, SAMH also announced the development of Scotland's Mental Health Charter for Physical Activity and Sport, and the charter was developed through the SAMH People Active for Change and Equality project and funded by Comic Relief. Scotland's Mental Health Charter for Physical Activity and Sport aims to empower physical activity and sports communities to improve equality and reduce discrimination, ensuring mental health and well-being is not a barrier to engaging and participating and achieving in physical activity and sport. The Charter encourages organisations to show their support by signing up to the Charter to create a positive change, and it's encouraging to hear about the diversity of the range of signatories from Sport Scotland governing bodies such as Basketball Scotland, leisure trusts, PE departments and local schools, local clubs that have already signed up to the Charter. And I would encourage those involved in sport and physical activity across communities to sign up to the Charter too. And this will signal to anyone with a mental health problem that there is support out there to help overcome the barriers to getting active and achieving their own personal goals. In closing this debate, I want to thank members for their contributions and that we will all continue our efforts to deliver wider outcomes for individuals and communities across Scotland through sport and physical activity, and the Government will be supporting both the Conservative and Labour amendments.